Hey guys, it's Sonny, and making this video here, kind of a little ramble style on the new Delve boss and the cape specifically. So I saw the blog post came out on the new kind of enraged boss. Delve boss is what they're calling it. 8 levels, each level a little harder, and the rewards: the new best in slot mage cape and best in slot, consumable 3-way tribrid boots. So wanted to kind of give my thoughts on the rewards and on the boss in general. Just finished, I've seen a couple of videos on this, saw the Sebe video, and just finished watching No Monkey's latest video on this, which I think was really good. I mean, I agreed a ton with a lot of what he said. So I'll link that in the description below in case you guys are wondering or want to watch that. But yeah, just want to give my take. So to start off, I think, the idea of a enraged boss or a boss that has progressively more difficult levels, I think is a good thing. I mean, I think it's definitely a unique new mechanic or unique kind of new boss they can do in old school. I do think, one thing we've seen for the last couple of endgame updates, and I kind of hope after this, I'm fine with them doing the delve system and having progressively more difficult variations of the same boss, and kind of an unlimited an unlimited KC. You can kill it as many times as you want and it gets just unlimitedly more difficult. But I do think one thing I'd like to see for the future, and specifically for Raids 4, is I'd really like them to go back to kind of a more simple method. I mean, you think of the last 3 endgame updates we've gotten. So Toa obviously has the invocation system, and it scales up to 600 invo is the max or whatever, right? So you can progressively have it scale it more difficult depending on what you want to do. Same thing with Colosseum. Colosseum kind of has the something of an invo system, and then they're kind of doing that, not an invo system, but they're having progressively more difficult as well with the delve boss. What this all has in common, what the JMods have started to do, is they're incentivizing lower level players to engage with these updates, which I understand, right? So they want, if you're a level 110 and you don't think you're gonna, you're level 110 and you're not gonna be able to do a level 500 Toa, we can go do a level 200 Toa with your friends and you'd be fine there. You can still engage with the content. The idea is that you could go do Colosseum up to wave 5 and still get rewards from that. Now, in actuality, how many people are camping Colo and never finishing it, who have never gotten a quiver and are just going and doing wave 5 and leaving? I don't think there are that many. So I don't think for Colo it really works that well, or at least I don't think as many people engage with it at a lower level as they would think. And I think that's going to be similar with this new delve boss. I think most people doing the delve boss are going to be going to level 8 and beyond and are going to be camping it at the higher levels there. So I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing here is they're trying to drive engagement for lower levels, and I think that's fine. I think what we've obviously seen with some of the updates like Toa, and it's tough to balance content around that wide variation of skill. It's tough to balance it around, for a level 90 doing a 100 Toa and a max main doing a level 500 Toa. It's tough for them to both be, for them to both have engaging mechanics. And I just hope that they're able to figure it out for the delve system. And I really hope for Raids 4 they go away and it's similar to Tob, where you just have one level, or one kind of difficulty mode, nothing scaling. I mean, obviously with team size you can scale monster HP or whatever, but there's no difficulty scaling. I think it's simpler and it's easier to balance, and when you make it simpler and easier to balance, you're able to do a better job because there's less stuff to focus on, right? You're only balancing it across one board, so it's easier to give a really engaging update and a really engaging encounter just kind of across that one board. So that's kind of my thoughts on the delve system in general. I think it's okay for this update, but I would like to see them go back to kind of simpler one boss or one difficulty level for some future endgame level updates. So then getting into the rewards, the big thing is the new mage cape, and the debate is, should it be tradable or should it not? So that's kind of what everyone's talking about. Should the new mage cape be tradable? And I understand a lot of the feedback is right now we have the Inferno Cape and we have the Quiver, neither of which are tradable. So people see that, they go, well, these aren't tradable. The new Mage Cape shouldn't be tradable. And in general, capes haven't been tradable, just kind of across the board, or the best in slot capes, sorry, in general haven't been tradable really throughout the entirety of RuneScape. I mean, if you go back, like, I don't know, the Legends, was the Legends Cape best in slot before Fire Cape? I'm not sure. I didn't play like Classic or that long ago before the Fire Capes came out. But yeah, I mean, in general, capes have always been untradeable, best in slot rewards. But I'm honestly fine with them moving away from that for the Mage Cape in this instance. And I think the reason is, a lot of people, you're comparing the new Delve system to Inferno or to Coliseum, but they're completely different, right? So you think of Inferno and Coliseum, they're both wave-based minigames that get progressively more difficult, and then there's a unique final boss at the end. That's kind of the accumulation of everything you've done. Your nerves are, pumping. There's unique mechanics, right? I mean, there's no other boss in the game that's the same as Zuck or the same as Soul. They're totally unique. If unless you've camped simulators, which are completely busted, unless you've camped the simulators for a bunch of time, you're going to die the first time you do it because it's just totally different than anything else in the game. And that's not the case with this new Delve boss. I mean, yes, you have progressively more difficult Delve levels, but it's the same boss. And, I'm sure things will change slightly between each level, but you're still fighting the same boss. I mean, you might add a couple mechanics here or there, but it's not going to be drastically different. Like I said, and it's one boss too. You're not fighting different monsters. You're not getting introduced to different monsters as you progress. And there's no accumulation. There's no end game or end wave encounter boss. You're just fighting the boss at level 8 with a couple more mechanics, and it's a little faster than it was at level 7. So, for that to reward you with the best in slot untradeable cape, I think it would be disappointing for sure. I mean, it's not on the same it's not the same type of encounter as an Inferno or Coliseum, and killing that boss is not going to be the same as killing Zuck for the first time or killing Soul for the first time. You're not going to have that sense of accomplishment. I mean, I know we haven't seen the boss or anything, but I can tell you right now, I mean, it's pretty obvious you're going to be killing the same thing 7 times in a row. Killing it for the 8th time when it's a little harder is not going to be it's not going to be the same sense of accomplishment you had before. So I think one suggestion I saw on No Monkey's video that he took from the Reddit was you have the cape be tradable and you have to kill the boss at Delve level 8 to equip it. I think that's a fair solution if it has to be untradeable, if it has to be an accomplishment or an achievement to be able to wear it. I think that's a totally fine solution. It's tradable. So you're still, because you want to incentivize people to camp the content. That's the thing. You look at, Inferno. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who go back and do Inferno, obviously. There's CAs. The CAs have definitely incentivized people to do content on repeat. But outside, I mean, I would guess that, you'd have to look at the high scores, but I would put a pretty big number on the fact that most people who do Inferno do it once and never go back. That would be, I mean, I think that's a pretty fair solution. Coliseum probably is a little closer as far as repeat people and people who do it one and done, just because there are tradable rewards there. You are achieving things by going back. I mean, you're making money. It's a really good money maker, and obviously if you're an Iron, you have to go back because it's the only way to get the Sunfire splinters. So Colo may be a little more repeat, but you're definitely de-incentivizing people to camp the content if you're giving them a one and done automatic drop untradeable reward. You go, you get your cape and you leave, right? I mean, obviously Irons are going to go and they're going to have to go get the boots, but if you're a main, I mean, if I was a main, it depends on how much fun it is and how much GP it is, but if it's not that good, then I'm just going to go do it once and get my cape and I'm not going to go back. So you definitely want to incentivize people to do it multiple times, and having a tradable reward is going to be the best way to do it. And I think the cape is the best one for it, because this is going to be a unique boss. Hopefully it's a really good boss, a really fun boss and difficult, and you want there to be a really cool reward coming from it. People, I've also seen you can take away the cape and put something else, but really the only other mage slots that they would be able to put that haven't been, that don't come from a raid or haven't, been really newly added to the game are the amulet and the gloves. And, neither of them, they don't have the, I guess, like the sense of like the fashion, right? I mean, you don't even see the tormented bracelets ever really. Like no one's going to notice if you have the new BIS bracelet or the AMI, you're barely going to look at, versus the cape. Like that stands out. You see someone with an Infernal cape, you automatically, your eyes go to the cape. And it's really, I mean, that's a big reason a lot of people go get the Inferno cape, is because it looks really cool. And I think having the cape be the reward is also going to, incentivize people to go get the cape, go pay for it, which is also going to increase the GP per hour and make it more attractive for people to do the boss. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the encounter and on the cape itself. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching as always.